The following program is paid for by the Charlie Butler team. Looking for tips on selling your home? Tune in to the Charlie Butler Show right here on WGBF AM every Sunday at 9 a.m. The Charlie Butler Show, where your questions get answers. Charlie guarantees it.
Good Sunday morning, Tri-State. This is the Charlie Butler Real Estate Show. And as I am every Sunday, I'm Charlie Butler again. I have a room full today. Of course, as always, to my left, the Regional Director for Churchill Mortgage, David Crow. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Charlie. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. Happy Sunday morning to everyone.
You were on the run this morning.
I have been on the run, absolutely. Yes, good things happening. All kinds of good things.
And to your left, she's sitting closer to you than she normally does. But after the off-air discussion, I don't know if that was...
Nope, I've moved over to my left further.
Is the president of the Butler DeArmond Real Estate Network, who also is the owner of the Charlie Butler team, is Candace DeArmond. Good morning, Candace.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, Tri-State.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. And you were on time this morning, too.
I was on time. I shocked myself.
Candace, for those that don't know, Candace is not known for being on time.
No, that's not one of the things I'm known for sure.
Not one of your strong points. Before we get to our guests, let's Jordan. We hear there's big news with you. Can we talk about that yet?
We can hold off until it's made public, but
Okay.
there is some big things coming that does involve the realty world.
Yes, it involves the real estate world, involves the Charlie Butler team, involves Jordan.
Mindy's coming over to my house to make sure that is totally horrible. I'm good. It is going to be a hoarder's den.
By the way, the picture, she showed me the outside picture. Your house looks nice.
What
nice.
What did you expect it to look like? A cave in the woods?
Well, you did say the outhouse thing.
No, exactly.
That was...
And I couldn't even see the outhouse, Jordan, but you didn't have a side picture there. So
yeah. That's towards the back. Yeah, you got to look further back in the house. Jordan
just got indoor plumbing at his house, so that's.
I know Kentucky things. It's great.
No.
But yeah, no. Everything's moving forward. Life is going gung ho at the moment.
Great. And I guess maybe next show or in a couple weeks we'll be able to talk about this a little more.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, fun things happening.
And you, Mindy, she went to see Five Finger Death Punch.
I almost went to that because my Blink 182 show was canceled.
Was it?
Yeah, canceled because of sickness or something. So St. Louis was crazy this past weekend. So not only was Five Finger Death Punch in town, John Fogerty was in town.
Oh, really?
Almost bought tickets for that. Pink was in town. Pink was in town for 90s grunge rock fans. Bush and Candlebox were in town. That was another big show going on. Travis Tritt was in town. Yeah, Travis Tritt was in town. There was all kinds of concerts. So once Blink, I found out they were canceled, I was like, let's avoid St. Louis this week.
And then I saw Cody Jinks the week before.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
And not only did he do his normal stuff, he's brought back a lot of his old stuff too.
Ooh, buddy,
So
I love it when
good.
artists do that.
Yeah, it was good. So, David, I was just I was noticing as I was waiting on the elevator downstairs, the TV downstairs. Of course, I was looking at the market, and the 10-year bond just happened to pop up, 3.8 and change right now.
At the moment, yes, and we're hoping it continues to move lower. That's the go. CPI data came out this past week on Wednesday, and basically it was right where expectations were. So the market is continuing to improve. Honestly, if I go back and look at things really over the last 2 months, rates and pricing of rates have softly continued to move down, and we expect that to happen. And we now definitely expect to have a cut September 18th from the Federal Reserve. I know 25 basis points, 50 basis points, 75 have all been kicked around.
Right.
Honestly, not to bore the listeners driving down the road, based on where the expectations from the Federal Reserve were in March of 2024, as they did an outlook on the remainder of the year in 24.
Mm-hmm.
The unemployment was maxed at 4%. We're already at 4.3. PCE was going to be at 2.6 by the end of the year. We're already at 2.6. Those factors actually trigger that we should have a 75 basis points cut in September 18th. Right. Not sure if the Fed Reserve will do that, but the data supports that. So rates are definitely going to be moving down.
So at Churchill, I know last time we talked, your interest rates were very, very competitive. In fact, better than most. So where are you guys at right now? That's what the listeners want to know.
So I was just having a conversation this week, and I'm at 6 1/8 on a 30-year fixed mortgage. And my two competitors I was competing against are not at 6.125. So right. I was below them, and ultimately the buyer chose to go with me, and overall cost and so forth. So we did move down a couple weeks ago significantly. Now, in this time frame, we basically sit there in the same spot we've been in and just gone a little lower. I believe people are starting to price in the rate cut. It's just how big that rate cut's going to be come September. So low sixes, and that was on a conventional loan. Typically, we see FHA, government loans, VA. That's typically where your lower interest rates are versus conventional, but with a very qualified buyer, I'm getting low sixes right now.
So where are you at on FHAs?
Probably at the moment, similar to that. I have not hit 5.99. And Charlie and I are talking about par rates. And we've talked about before, if you're on the internet, you're seeing fives right now. You just don't understand. You're paying 1, 2, almost 3 points to get that rate that you're seeing advertised. So everything I'm talking about, you can pay points with me to get a lower rate.
Right.
As I've said all year long, I don't think that's the wise move for most people, because I think rates are definitely going to move down within next year. And you're going to be refinancing to that lower rate already. If you spend that money on points up front and then you want to refinance, you lose the money you spent. And I think that's realistically going to happen within a year. And so, but no, right now I think you're looking at low sixes, maybe high fives on a par rate.
So David, if, when the public, I know they hear it right before us. Dave Ramsey's on, and they hear Churchill Mortgage, all about them. Dave Ramsey, 25 years plus, has been talking about them, and but he has their national number, which is fine folks there in Brentwood.
Yes,
and but if they want to talk to somebody locally and deal with somebody locally, how can they get a hold of them?
Folks said every week on here, the easiest way to get a hold of me is either call or text. You can call and text my cell phone. 270-222-0676. You can look me up online, Churchill Mortgage. You'll see the Owensboro, Kentucky location servicing Western Kentucky and Southern Indiana. And actually, my cell number is right there on there as well. So 270-222-0676.
Okay, Claire. By the way, I haven't introduced her. Claire Kincaid from Law and Order is here today.
If only.
Yeah. That means you'd have to have risen from the dead, because she got killed in the show.
It would be incredible if that was who I am, but no.
If you were the real life Jill Hennessy, it would be okay. Claire Kincaid from Bosse Title is with us. She is the marketing director, also closes loans there. Many of you have seen her smiling face there.
Yes.
So Claire, I usually do the Bosse commercial, but I'm going to let you do it this morning. Why should people go to Bosse Title?
I think the real advantage at Bosse Title is we offer extensive closing and expertise title search. We're the best in residential and commercial services. You can contact us at 812-421-4000, or you could email us. Our website is bossetitle.com.
So, I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that. I'm sorry.
I'm a little nervous with my radio debut.
So, and of course, we didn't even mention the real brains of the organization, Norm.
True. Yeah. He's the real boss there. Our chief Frenchie officer, Jeff's dog, Norm. Yeah.
And Norm does come out and greet everybody. And you got food that is really...
he's going to find it. He's going to find it. He'll sniff it out.
He'll get in your pocket if he has to.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And so Claire, how long have you been with Bosse?
I've been at Bosse this month, will be 4 years.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I actually was thinking this morning, I started in real estate when I was 19. I'm 27 now. It'd be 8 years in December. That's weird.
So what else? What did you do in real estate before?
I was at a mortgage company here locally. And so did lots of different things at that mortgage company, and then wanted to continue in real estate and continue my career. And so I went over to Bosse. I felt it was the best title company whenever I was at a mortgage company. And I have learned so much from all of everybody that's there, all of our searchers, our examiners, and the closing team.
Okay. I'm going to get a discussion started here in a second that you'll be a part of.
Sure.
But I also wanted to introduce one of my favorite people, Anita Corn.
Well, thank you, Charlie.
And Candace, would you guess that Anita has 15 grandkids?
No, not at all.
16th on the way in October.
Wow.
Very exciting.
Wow. Yeah. No, I would not have guessed that at all.
That blows my. Every time I see her, it blows my mind. You know, she's. Well, I don't mean you're that old. I shouldn't.
Well, I am probably older than you think I am, but
Yeah, we'll just say you started young. Okay, that sounds fair.
I'm truly blessed with that for sure.
So, how are you this morning, Anita?
I'm great. Very busy these days, which I love. And yesterday was a great day. Had a listing, had a closing,
Super.
and showed houses. So it's a good day.
It's a great day for a realtor.
That's a good day in real estate.
With people like yourself and Candace who do a lot of business, both of you do, then Claire from a different angle and David from a different angle. I want to talk a little bit about, and we've talked about this before on the show, what's coming in real estate. There are some changes coming in real estate. And
That's a touchy subject. I'm not sure who wants to talk about it, but I'll start.
It's a touchy subject, but you want to explain it real quick?
Well, I'll dabble in it a bit. I won't pretend to know everything about it.
Don't feel bad.
Nobody.
I talked to both sides of the river, and there have been forums this week where people are coming together with attorneys and so forth. Mm-hmm. And I just, as a lender, it somewhat impacts me. But for all of you in the real estate world, it is such a challenge right now. And so dabble in it.
Okay, so the biggest change, and I was very nervous about it until it started. So we've had some law changes in Indiana, and our company made us start 30 days prior to when everybody else started. So
and we did the same thing as you guys did.
We would get used to it. Yeah. So the biggest thing is, as a realtor for me, I love to meet my clients, get to know them a little bit, show them a couple houses. We build a trust, we build a friendship, and then, we work together. Nowadays, we have to get them to sign a form saying that they're going to work with me before they even know me. So I was worried about my people, my clients, and I was just worried, are they going to walk away? What are they going to do? But this is law, so we got to do it, And luckily, surprisingly, I've had no issues.
Congratulations.
It's incredible.
Have you haven't had any feedback, negative feedback at all?
Only negative feedback was at an open house. A lady came in and, they don't have to sign it to come to an open house.
Right.
But she wanted me to show her some properties. So, of course, then I brought it up. And she said, you explain that to me because a couple other realtors at a couple other open houses explained it to me a little bit. And I did. And she goes, that is not what they said. So they were like, even at the open houses, trying to get them to sign something. And they don't have to for an open house.
No.
You're just opening it for the public and they're not your client. So, I think she breathed a sigh of relief. And guess what? I just closed yesterday on a $432,000 house with that lady.
Congratulations.
Yeah, fantastic.
That's great. And Candace, I know you had some apprehensions at the start, and you've been reading about this and watching videos.
I've read
a lot.
So much that my head has spinned. I don't think like Anita saying that her lady said that other agents at open houses had told her completely different. I think there's a lot of agents that just don't understand.
Yes.
And then there's different brokerages that they have put their own policies into place about how they're going to. Yes, they're still handling it this way, but I know an agent called me last week and she has a listing and she said, the buyer's agent called and she asked if, she asked about compensation, and then she said, I need to send her the form over. And I said, well, no, she would send you the form over. But this particular brokerage they're having us, whoever the listing agent is, send something. And then I don't know how it's handled.
To confirm compensation.
And that brokerage is not Tucker, and it's not Keller Williams. So
so true.
Of the three big ones, then you can guess who it is from there.
Well, and I just had not encountered that on any of my listings. So whenever this agent called and was asking me, I said, I have no idea. I don't know what you're talking about. And I have read and read and read because I wanted to make sure that, these changes
they're important.
They are very important.
Yeah.
I've heard this discussed.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of discussion.
But are you guys seeing this, that if you don't make a big deal out of it, if you treat it as just part of the deal and don't, the bigger deal you make out of it, the bigger deal it's going to be.
Exactly.
And
I think that's with every line of our job, inspections. Oh, yeah. If you don't make a big deal out of it and get upset about it and you explain it calmly, they're probably going to be the same. And the same with this. If you know what you're talking about and you explain it calmly, I think everybody's going to be fine.
It's the same, whenever you're on one side and, say you're on the listing and then there's somebody that's on the buyer's side and one of them has a difficult client. There's certain things you don't have to say exactly how they said it to you, because sometimes
translate it in a much more professional way.
Stay calm, explain it, break it down, and find a solution to the problem. And I think that's important all throughout.
Yes, every phase of it.
So I can't help it, and I'm looking at Claire over here, and I'm going to put her on the spot.
Let's do it.
And Jordan, if we have to delete this, we will. So Claire, as a title company.
What you said already today, we may have to.
I know.
What you said off air. Yeah.
So Claire, as a title company, prior to closing, are you all going to be requesting the buyer agency agreement between the buyer agent and the buyer?
So whenever we're requesting information from agents, that will be detailed in a document that we already are sending to agents, detailing the whole transaction for the title company.
Okay.
No, simply if the agent is telling us what needs to be done, that's how we'll handle it. I've not encountered a closing yet that we have requested that or needed that information. We always see the transaction a little later. We get it, we'll get it at the beginning, but then at the closing side of things, we're seeing deals 30 days after you guys have done a lot of work on these transactions. So maybe ask me in 6 months.
I know that's a fair response because this topic, as you can imagine, has came up on both sides of the river.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And again,
Big
from
changes.
my perspective, I do a lot of sitting, listening, and watching. So it's
and I don't think Kentucky passed a separate law, did they? I think it's August 17th it starts for them.
August 17th. That's exactly. So we're airing on August 18th. It was yesterday.
Yeah, that's the NAR settlement day.
Yes. Yeah. And so that is when things kicked off, if you will, in the state of Kentucky. So this past week has been a lot of discussions.
I'm sure.
And I like that. Check with me in 6 months.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be, over the next month or so, there's going to be some interesting stories develop.
Oh, yeah. Some wrinkles to iron out.
Charlie being broker, he's going to get some phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to redirect them to Candace.
Okay. No, we've, I had a couple ask me, I said, we're talking about this other company that's requiring another form. And they said, are you going to require that? I said, we're going to require what the law says we have to do. Yeah. And that's what we're going to require. So, I mean, that's how I feel about it. I mean, we don't break the law, but we do what the law says, but we don't have to, we don't have to make the agent's job super hard, And this doesn't have to be hard.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't have to be. I mean, if you overthink this, I tell you what it reminds me of, and Claire, you probably run into this too, and David, I'm sure you do, is you get an agent, let's face it, the buyer and sellers are usually emotional. to a certain extent.
Yes.
And then you get an agent that feeds into that.
Yes.
It's a nightmare.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's awful.
A nightmare.
That makes it very
It is.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. Claire and I have sat in on a couple where there were some emotion.
Very emotional. And you become a little bit of a magician, kind of going from one to another and balancing those and making sure that everybody is comfortable and is understanding what's happening without, real estate transactions, there's lots of emotions that can happen, but whenever you boil down to it, you want to just take care of business and get it done.
And that's what's great about Bosse Title is you guys do a great job.
Thank you.
Keeping everybody
Absolutely.
calm and happy. So love
Thank you.
guys.
Appreciate that.
In spite of Jeff just sitting there sleeping, the rest of you do a great job.
He hasn't even been at the office. I had to email him my timesheet today. He wasn't even in the office. Couldn't even hand it to him.
But what do you expect?
I just don't know.
Yeah. But no, it makes our job so much more difficult. And I wish the agents would, you go in there and you do the thing is I always look at us as middlemen.
Mhm.
Kind of.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're not, I would say we're not near as important as we think.
Mhm.
We're trying to get both sides together and trying to keep our side calm. Hopefully the other agent does the same thing, because let's face it, the buyer always thinks they're paying too much and the seller thinks they're giving their house away.
Yeah.
So, and that's an exaggeration, I understand, but, we try to bring that together. And, from working with you, Candace, I know that's what you try to do.
Yeah. I think that, that it's as an agent, I think it's really a big responsibility of ours to stay calm and keep our emotions in check, because buyers and sellers are so emotional. There's a lot of emotion wrapped up in selling a home or buying a home, So I think as an agent, we're supposed to.
Anita, what's your goal? But I mean, and that, when you're in a transaction, whether you're representing the buyer or the seller, what do you try? Obviously, you try to get the closing table. We all do. But how do you try to handle it?
Well, like I said, I'm not a transactional person. I'm a relationship person. So whoever I'm representing, I love to know about them and what their goal is, and try to make that happen in a very peaceful, easy. I try to have fun with it,
Yeah.
I tell them this doesn't have to be terrible. I know you've heard stories, but this can be really good. And it's a learning experience for everybody, always. And want to get them into the next house and the next phase of their life. And just, I kind of go over and above my duties sometimes, helping out people, but that's part of it, and I think that's why I've been successful so far.
But that also, by doing that also brings you referrals.
Absolutely.
And referrals, let's face it, Anita and I off air were talking about advertising. And no matter how much advertising we do, there is no advertising that's going to replace referrals.
People that respect you and had a great experience, and they want somebody else to have that same thing. So.
And I don't care if I'm sure it's the same in David's business, same in Claire's. Referrals are the lifeblood of that.
And you love them. When people, and we've talked about on there, I chuckle when I get a text or a phone call that says, "Hey, my sister, cousin, friend, is it okay if I give your information to them?"
Give it all day.
Please, yes, it's perfectly fine. I would love to help your family or friend and provide a home loan for them. But yes, I get those text or calls asking, "Is it okay if I give your information to them?"
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have it plastered on every sign. It's obvious that we want it out there.
Yes.
Whenever I see my name on a purchase agreement that next to Bosse Title that they would like Claire Kincaid to close the transaction, it's like just like a pat on the back. You're like, okay, I've done well. I've served my realtor. I've served my lender well, and customers enjoy my closing services. That's all that we can ask for.
There was there's a title company that's no longer here. I often tell stories I have to leave names out of. But, and they had a extremely attractive closer. Okay. And so I was representing a lot of investors in, and they all said, make sure our closings with so-and-so. They would come in and, they never wore cologne. They'd have cologne on and all this stuff. And then maybe she'd be busy and one of the guys would sit down. And then suddenly they'd say, okay, let's hurry up. I'm busy here. They were ready to sit there all, as long as they had to with her. But, it's
Funny.
I hope it's my work ethic, not my smile that gets people at closings. But
sure,
Well, your smile definitely helps.
Claire is a very pretty girl. So,
thank you very much,
Yes.
Charlie.
And so in the next half hour, what you guys think, we're going to get into some of our strangest stories.
Oh.
Funny. They can be funny. They can be, they can be a little off color, not too off color.
For the listeners, they have to tune in next week.
Yes.
Yes.
Today we are taping 2 shows back to back.
Yes.
And so Claire and Anita have agreed to stay with us. And Anita, sorry, I haven't given you. How can they get a hold of you?
They can reach me at 812-549-7152, AnitaKorn.com, AnitaKorn at fctuckermg.com. Best is the phone number, 812-549-7152.
How does your website do? I mean, for you, is your website good?
My website probably needs work, but it's connected to the Tucker website, which is personalized for me.
Right.
So I mostly use that because, I think it's a good spot,
Good.
And we have a beautiful website at FC Tucker. So
You do.
It's very user friendly.
You do. And
But it's always a cell phone.
Yes.
it's always,
Text me.
phone's always
You get
better.
fast.
Texting and calls. That's it.
Candace, how can I get a hold of you?
They can reach me on my cell phone at 812-455-6338, or they can call the Butler team phone at 812-430-1708.
Wow. You didn't even have to look. She never remembers the Butler team phone. Though.
Somebody
You were
been
cheating.
studying
You
this
had it-
week.
No, she had it pulled
Got
up.
notes.
She had
On
it-
time and studying.
I don't know who wrote
Look
that.
at you
but
go.
It was here. I was like, yes.
No. Claire just got, she said, on time and
And I
studying.
knew the phone number. That's
Wow.
right. I mean, I've turned over a
Props.
new leaf in the past day.
I was going to say 24 hours.
Yeah.
David, anyone needs to get pre-approved and,
Do yourself a favor. Do every realtor a favor. Get pre-approved before you go out there and decide you want to start looking at homes.
don't go out and look at a $400,000 home and get a realtor that just didn't do what they were supposed to do and took you out and showed it to you, and then you can afford $200,000 home.
Yep.
And that's not. Yeah.
Folks, the easiest way to get a hold of me, I said it earlier, cell phone 270-222-0676. And talking about pre-approval, I had a nice realtor here in Evansville sent me a client, and let's just say he's not in a position to buy now. It's probably going to be 7-8 months. And this realtor was trying me for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And we spoke about it afterwards. And I told her, I said, I'm honest with the buyers. I'm honest with the realtors. The last thing I want to do in today's market is have you drive around, spend the time, the gas and energy looking at properties that are just unrealistic and can't happen right now. But put them both on an email. Anywhere between 6 and 9 months, he's going to be in position to buy, and then everybody's going to be happy.
Well, I always tell lenders the same thing when they ask me, so what's most important to you? Tell me the truth.
Yeah.
If they're not any good, if they can't do anything right
Yep.
now, tell me.
I gave this guy
Yeah.
a game
Don't
plan.
string me on and keep
Right.
Nope.
waste their time. I've never understood that. Why they
Yeah.
I don't either.
I'm just hoping.
Yeah.
hoping some new product will drop out of the sky.
Yeah.
You're right.
Maybe they would hit that lottery ticket at the convenience
Yeah.
store. Now they can buy.
And Claire, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Call our office, 812-421-4000.
For Anita Korn, Candace DeArmond, David Crow, the Law and Order girl, Claire Kincaid. This is Charlie Butler. Have a great Sunday.
You've got real estate questions but don't know where to get the answers? Tune in here every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. as Charlie Butler, Evansville's own real estate expert, shares the latest news, info, and insider tips to help you make smart real estate decisions. Find him online at charliebutlerteam.com. This program has been paid for by the Charlie Butler team. From the Kate Foppel Ford Studios, this is News Talk 1280 WGBF.